How are we doing, folks? This week we're going to be seeing what's it like taking an electric bike out with a petrol bike. Does it slow you down? Is it a pain in the bum? We've got Martyn from Fen Tour. He's got an Energica Ribelle, and I've got the best bike in the world. Stick around, find out how we get on.
Unsuitable for HGVs.
That's the GS out. 1,
You count down.
2, 3, go! yeah, I mean... Right, folks, we're going to be going out today, electric, not versus, but with petrol. I'm here with Martyn, also known as Fen Tour. Check out his link down below. Martyn, you own this, the Energica Ribelle, done a review on that. Martyn, what sort of things do we need to bear in mind when we're plotting a route?
Well, we need to think about how our riding style affects the range of the bike, and also make sure you understand what chargers are out there available on your potential route or nearby to it, and are they suitable, are they going to work? Some don't work, there are issues. Generally, there are plenty of really fast, good chargers out there to make your ride a pleasure. You need to do some research.
Awesome. Right, let's figure out how we're going to do that now.
Right then, Martyn, plotting a route. So we open up Cali, and if we were to go and just do like a round robin.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's good. Up there, we could probably take a slight detour off that route down east of Swaffham, where there's a bank of Instavolts. So just down there, where that says A47, because after that... Oh, look at that.
We could do, let's do that way.
So what we could do here is we could stop potentially at Dis, which is further down, isn't it?
Gosh, round there.
That's it.
Okay. You've got practical knowledge there. You've got first-hand knowledge of this area. If you didn't, what I've done in the past, I've used something called Zap Map.
Okay, that's good. Use one called Plug Share, which I prefer, but they're very, very similar. It's worth looking at what people's comments are on each charger from recent visits. Did they have a problem? Is it working effectively?
Gotcha.
There are quite a few chargers out there that have been neglected. The ones I find no issue with are Instavolt. Every one of them I've ever plugged into has worked.
But you can see on this map here, look how many electric chargers there are. There are loads. But as Martyn was saying, not all of them work. Not all of them are fast DC charge. You really have to have a little look at what you're doing
Only
here.
go for the fast ones because the slower ones generally need a cable. And I did show Bruce the cable earlier. It's so big, you don't want to be carrying that with you.
Chopsy and I actually found that when we did the latest big hunt, the Pie and Mash in London, neither of us were given any cables for the bikes, and there's just, without these panniers, there's nowhere, unless you're going to put it in a rucksack. All right then, let's hit the road.
Brilliant.
Nice one.
Lovely job.
Well, I must say, Martyn, this is a beautiful part of the world to live.
Very flat, isn't it, the Fens?
Yeah, very nice.
I was looking at a geographical map the other day, and the field to your left is 1.5 metres, that field there, below sea level.
Is it?
The river water to your right...
Nationals!
Yeah. The water to your right, that's 2.5 metres above sea level. The water in the river.
We've timed this right.
Yeah, it won't take long. Here it comes. These are quick barriers. There's the next bit of road that's really short.
So how long have you been riding electric then? And why did you get into it?
So this is a year old now. So 1 year electric. The ability to not have to worry what gear you're in to overtake something. You can just open up and go past. It's fantastic.
The torque on those things, it's always like a novelty factor for me, because obviously I don't own one. I don't ride it day in, day out.
Yes.
Does that ever go away? I mean, obviously you've had that for a year now. Do you get used to the power?
When you're overtaking, you just feel totally confident that you'll get past safely.
Yeah.
For normal riding, that I tend to do, I'm not using the torque anywhere near. I'm just enjoying a comfortable ride, which it is actually. Of course, it is extremely quick if you want it to be. Stupidly quick.
Well, that's the problem though with the electric though, isn't it? Is that speed is what kills the battery. Not necessarily speed, but maintained high speed. That kills it, doesn't it?
Absolutely,
so dual carriageways, motorways, it just rinses the battery. Whereas I've found in town, that bike there, Energica claim, the Ribelle, has about a 400-kilometre battery life.
In town,
now, yeah. Now, when I had that as a practical review, I was getting, well, for a mixture of riding, mixture of different roads, I'd get about 100 miles, maybe 110 miles to a full charge, as in 0 to 100%, or 100% down to 0.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're just spanking it on motorways, you could rinse that battery in 45, 50 miles, maintained high speed, 75, 80 mile an hour.
Just not suitable for that sort of riding at all.
No, but once you get in town, 400 kilometres, it is doable, folks, believe you me, it is doable if you're in city riding.
Much above 60 and it chews the battery. Below 60 you can get quite a good range.
Do you ride with your mates often when they have a petrol bike?
I've only ever been with one mate, David, who's been on my YouTube channel many times. It's not a problem because this is petrol.
Yeah.
So he just laughs. But we're going to stop again, have we? Takes the piss. More coffee.
Well, that's the whole point of this video, really, folks. I want to see what are the practicalities of having electric in amongst your group. So either if you own an electric bike and you want to go riding with your mates who are on petrol, or maybe one of your group wants to get an electric bike, what sort of impact will that have on your day? So Martyn and I, we're here around about the Fens. Where we're going here, third exit,
right here, up the A10.
Where we've plotted the route. You see now we've done that on Calais, and we're just going to go out for a proper day's ride, a couple of 100 miles, well, it's about 140 miles I think this, and we're just going to see what impact does that have on the day's riding. Will we manage to do 140 miles? Will we have to adapt the route significantly? Let's just play it by ear and see. That's the whole point of this. So let's do it.
Bloody mirror.
Hillgate Road. Lovely. I can hear your bike over the intercom.
Yeah, it makes a lovely sound. I do like the sound it makes. People said they're quiet. This is not quiet.
Well, I think the Energicas are the noisiest out of all electric bikes I've ridden. I like them.
If you do give it some speed, proper speed, then it really does start to sound like a gas turbine.
Yeah, that's
Harrier
right.
jump jet taking off or something.
I always feel like one of those scout bikes from Return of the Jedi.
So you're properly in Norfolk now, boy.
I got to start fiddling with my sister.
You have to keep it in the family up here. Keep it in the family,
So how long has your channel been going then?
Oh, I think I started it in 2017. You've got to focus on something. I mean, I'd like to do all sorts of videos, but you can't. As you know, you've got to focus on one subject, really, haven't you?
Yeah, you really have to niche down, don't you, on YouTube? There's not many channels out there that's not only grow, but survive if they're generic. I always wanted to be, I wanted like a vlog style channel where I did stuff on bikes and I'm traveling and I'm doing bits of this, but that's ultimately what I would love. But I think to begin with, you really have to niche down and get your market.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right.
Because the travel stuff, it just doesn't get views. Whereas a bike review will get 30, 40, 50,000 views in a matter of a day or 2 days sometimes.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and yet you can slave your heart out for a week on a lovely travel vid and it'll get 2,000, 3,000 maybe. Oh, sorry. Speeding, maybe slow down.
That's alright. I'll just run out of battery.
It's alright, I've got 190 mile left to fuel, we're alright.
It says 49 miles at the moment, range.
What, your range?
Yeah.
Wow, so were you at 100 when we left?
100%, yeah. It's a 70% battery, but at these sort of speeds we've been doing 49 miles.
Say 49 miles.
Now. 48
right,
now.
Okay, gotcha. Right, I'm in third. If you pull up alongside me.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay,
ready?
so 1,
You count down.
2, 3, go!
Better slow down again.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You were quicker on the throttle, but
Yeah.
that definitely is way more acceleration than this.
It's just smooth as well. All the lights are flashing because I've got the traction control on maximum. Here's where we're going, Bruce, on the right here. Chargers around the back.
I recognise that from one of your videos.
There you go, there you go.
And there's even a Costa for a coffee.
Costa
Happy
Lotta.
days.
I've still got 62%. But like I say, I normally burn 30% coming here. Obviously we're going faster with you, Bruce.
Right, I'll just spin round so I can get you on the cameras.
Here we go.
Right, I'll pull in behind you. Right, stop that, stop that. So what were you down to? 60 odd percent, did you say?
62%. Yeah.
62%, okay. And we have done 34 miles so far. So it's roughly about 40% battery, and we've done 34 miles. Now, there's been a mixture of a little bit of dual carriageway stuff and in the backcountry lanes there. Right, so this is InstaVolt. You might have seen this on some of my vids, folks, when I've done the reviews of electric. They're really good. You get these all over the country. They're really good. You don't need to be part of a club, do you? You can literally just
your bank card.
Bank card, wireless, Bosch.
There we go.
So there you go, you can see this, folks. This is where you charge.
Here it goes.
And that's the fast DC charging
So
on
we
this.
check the screen, says DC charge initialization. Fingers crossed it will work.
And then if we look at this, there we go. Charging, Bosch. Simple as that. Let's go and have a coffee.
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe have a bit of cake. Right then, folks, that's the first coffee stop of the day. Come in, Martyn, come in. We probably stopped a little bit too long there, didn't we?
Too much chatting.
Yeah, I think we've been chatting for about 40 minutes.
The bike will definitely be full.
It should be at 100%. Let's go see.
Yeah.
Right then, Martyn, we're up at 100%. Shall we hit the road?
Let's go.
Right, okay then, so we've got pretty much almost a full tank of fuel. I've got 182 mile range. We've got a full battery, 99.7%.
Well, it actually says 100 at the moment.
We're going to do some twisty roads now. That's been some faster roads there. We're going to go on the twisty setting on Bemoto, down towards this, which should hopefully be the next charging point. I've got the Insta360 1X2 on one of those articulated what are they called, smart arms or clamps, whatever they are. They're really, really good. But I've got to say, for what I use a 360 camera for, this new 1X2, and I'm not sponsored by Insta, has been the most reliable action camera I've used to date, up until I started using this new GoPro Hero 10. The Hero 10 with these new white Enduro batteries so far has been faultless for me. These new Enduro batteries are brilliant. If you use an action camera in the UK, for sure, get the Enduro ones. They're no more, they don't cost anymore. Get the Enduro ones, not the blue ones.
Poor old Fen Tour went to order some of the white batteries. They sold out. Bruce had bought them all.
I bought them all.
Because we're going steadily, the range has gone up, Bruce.
I was just thinking that. I could get off and push the bike quicker. This is an issue with something like Bemoto. When you put it on the twisty section, you really have to be conscious of the environment that you're in that we're up here in Norfolk, and obviously you have these backcountry lanes like this, which are all like this. So when you put it on the twisty section, the twisty option, it's going to put you down roads like this. So if you're after a sort of a faster, more flowing ride, certainly in an area like Norfolk, you want to be putting it on the fast option. Don't use twisty. We're out just to try everything today.
Depends on the bike as well. I mean, this is reasonably firm suspension compared to your GS floating over the bumps in front. I'm bouncing up and down quite nicely. It's showing 111 miles range at the moment, which is pretty
fantastic.
good. 4%.
Which again comes to what we were talking about where these bikes are perfect in the city, because in the city you're going to be low speed, certainly below 40 miles an hour, up and down, and that's where you're going to get the maximum range out of these electric bikes. Nationals!
Oh, here we go. Catch up. Whoa!
I can just hear that bike whining when you hit the throttle.
Yeah, you can hear it whine.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of bypass then. This is where it eats the battery.
Are you alright going up to 70?
Yeah, we'll be alright. Yeah.
So again folks, when you're out riding on electric, you really want to try and avoid roads like this, dual carriageways, big long straights, motorways, anywhere where you're going to be maintaining certainly 60 and above. That is going to strip your battery level.
Oh, look at that, straight off, very good. Impressive.
Nationals. Have you done any touring yet on the Ribelle then?
No, I must do some.
That's something I'm going to be doing soon actually, in the next few months. I think it's a Ribelle or it might be the Ego. I'm going around the UK on it just to see.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Try and do it in 4 or 5 days. See what we can do.
You're a glutton for punishment.
Right then, Martyn. This is a charge stations there. What sort of
looks like
charging
busy.
are you at? What battery are you at?
62.
Oh, 62%. That's fine.
So we could carry on.
I'll tell you what I could do with using the facilities myself. Now BP folks, BP have their own sort of charging. Yeah, I think you've gone the right way.
Yeah, for the
BP
charger.
are one of the petrol stations, including Shell also do them, that have their own chargers. There we go, EV charging, you can see there.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
3 cars plugged in.
So that is an issue folks.
And that is a problem, considering these are expensive. I didn't expect them to all to be in use.
Alright then mate, okay, why don't we pull into one of these bays up here and have a look and see where we can go. What we'll do folks is we'll show you on one of the apps, we'll have a little look for another charging point. Okay folks, so if you want to try and find charging points, well obviously there are the various different apps that you can use. Main one probably is Zap Map. So again, that's showing us here. Give it a little second to update. We tap on that, it should hopefully say, that's saying some connecting. If you look on this screen here folks with Zap Maps, obviously right where we are now at BP, it's showing that it's got the chargers. When you tap on it, you can see there, it shows you what different charging devices are available. So this has the CCS, which is the one we need. So we need the CCS, and that's saying that that's full, which as we can see it is. So what you do then, you zoom out, we can see that there's a whole load of other ones over towards Royden, Tesco Superstore. Tesco's free, but it's slow, isn't it? Well, Tesco is showing it has a Genie point. It's got 1 DC charge available 3 minutes ago. Shall we aim for that then?
We'll go there, shall we? Have a look.
And what you can do here is if you tap the right button there, sorry, the arrow, we can open Apple Maps, Google Maps or anything like that. Hit Google Maps. Now Bemoto won't integrate this at the moment, but we can use Google Maps now to take us straight there.
Yeah, good stuff. Brilliant.
Right folks, rather than boring you with a journey to a supermarket, we'll see you there. You're never going to believe this, but one of the chargers has just become available, so we're going to stay here. Or at least we would if people would hurry up and get out the bays. So just same setup as before, contactless, wash. Now with some of these folks, you have to read what it says on the display, because sometimes you can't connect it until you've done all this malarkey. You have to keep the charging point in the machine, you know, whack your card in, activate everything, and then it tells you to connect the bike up. So just do what it tells you on the screen folks.
You're allowed to start charging.
There you go. It is worth trying a couple of times. It's typical technology, might not work the first time. So it's saying to get from 62 to 80%, 7 minutes. Geesh, we're going to need longer than that. Right, coffee time again.
It's gone.
It's a problem with this electric lark, isn't it? It's no good if you're on Weight Watchers.
It's expensive. All this coffee costs more than the electric.
Right, Martyn, you've owned that Ribelle for what, a year now?
Just over a year. Yes.
Okay, and you've got electric cars as well. So
Yes.
what would you say are the key points that anyone moving to, say, an electric bike, what would you have to keep in mind?
You need to have somewhere to plug it in at home, firstly,
Yeah,
ideally. If not, it's going to be a bit of a pain.
yeah.
But the nice thing about that is when you go out to your bike, it's full.
Yeah.
Now, how often have you got back from a ride and just can't go to the petrol station?
Yeah, I'll fill up when I'm
Here
going.
you go
next
out.
time.
I'm going out. Tank's empty.
And then you're in a hurry.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. We got here 3 chargers all being used. 2 people soon moved off. You got to charge, but there's a group of you. It's a problem.
Yeah.
If you all need 20 minutes on the charger each, 25 minutes,
It's a change of mindset.
change your mindset.
Really, isn't it? We've not done massive miles today, but this is no real different to, I would say, most people out there when they go out on a bike. We're still covering 140 miles today. I'll admit, this is slower than I would normally ride when I'm out and about, but we're doing the speed limit. So can you complain about that? Not really, can you?
No.
Can't really say that's a negative.
And actually, we've stopped twice when we could have just stopped here,
We've stopped way more than we needed to, really, haven't we?
only because I needed a wee.
Yeah. and me. So what about running costs then?
Even at the extortionately high electric costs these days, about half the price of petrol
Okay.
per mile in comparison to your tractor, for instance.
Right, that's not bad
Twice
at
as
all.
far on the same cost, except if you're stopping a bit more often, you'll drink a lot more of these very expensive coffees, so you're out of pocket.
And it's absolutely no use if you're on Weight Watchers.
No. 100%. Lovely.
I tell you what, see when you're out riding and with electric, or you've been on electric, petrol bikes sound so loud.
It is loud, that noisy bloody thing.
Right then, folks, that's Martyn back up to 100%. We didn't really need to do as many battery charges as we have done, as it's turned out. Ideally, you want to try and keep it, as we said before, try and keep it between like 40 and 80%. Just the way things have gone today, we've ended up charging it up to 100% both times. You don't need to do that.
No, I think if we weren't using Bemoto, Bruce, and I was familiar with the route,
Yes.
I'd probably try and plan something myself with a stop after about 70 miles, 80 miles tops.
Okay, gotcha.
Because that way I'm confident I'll always have enough battery.
But I think the whole point of this bit is, what is it practically like to have an electric amongst your group? So when you're out riding with your mates, and either you or one of them has an electric bike, what implications is it to the day's ride? And I'll be honest with you, if you're out for a nice day, not a bimble, because we're not bimbling, but if you're out for a nice day and you're up for stopping, so far, it's not really had any implication whatsoever. Because when we stopped there, I needed to go to the toilet anyway, and by the time I'd been to the toilet, the bike would be fully charged. But as it was, it's lunchtime, so we had a bite to eat and a coffee. Job done.
To be honest, if I wanted to push this out to 80, 90 miles, my arse is going to be giving in well before then.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see what it's like touring on an electric bike, definitely. When you have like an expected mileage to cover each day. That will be an interesting one.
You know, again, if you're doing it on your own, you're going to be very relaxed and it's going to be very enjoyable. But if you were doing it with a bunch of GSAs, with big fuel tanks who don't want to stop, then you might be annoying them.
But GSA riders make a point of tutting every time you fill up with fuel, even if you're on a GS.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like, oh, I've got another 200 miles here, come on, hurry up.
Yeah, what are you doing? Get on with it. This year, hopefully, I'll get to maybe even do a couple of nights away somewhere.
Nice, are you going to cover that on your channel then?
Oh, I certainly will if I do it. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, well folks, if you're interested in that, like touring on an electric, then make sure you check out Martyn's channel, Fen Tour. The link's down below. Make sure you give that a check out. If you enjoy it, make sure you subscribe, follow, like, comment, do all the jazz. You know the score.
This is very pleasant countryside, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Nice roads as well.
It can be covered in well, the best part of the year. This, up until about 2 weeks ago, this would have been brown sludge.
Would it?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's a load of grit and stuff in the middle. So folks, the plan at the moment is we're actually heading, this wasn't planned, we're heading to English Electric Motor Company because Martyn's wing mirror has come loose. It's one of those really annoying, you know, the ones that screw in with the opposing nuts. Well, it's sort of come loose, so rather than having it flapping annoyingly all the time, we're just going to stop by and see if they've got a spanner that could tighten it up.
Look at that, could have charged here. Had some of their electric. Right, let's go and see if we can drum up a repair.
That one there is the one we used for the Big Hunt's Pie and Mash. That there, folks, that is the Ego, which is basically the Ribelle, but with a sports fairing on it. I think it's a smidgen quicker. That's based on that is the road version of the bike they used in the Moto E series before Ducati came on board this year. So the past few years, that's the bike that they've been carting around Moto E. But you can see here they do Energica, they do Zeros. That's the SRS there. There's a full range of Zeros actually. That's all the Zeros. It's well worth. They've got some other electric bikes here as well, folks. It's a nice little stylish setup that they've got there. They're not open, basically. Ah well, best laid plans and all that, folks. Right then, folks, Alec from English Electric was actually in and saw us outside and came up and had a chat. We got Martyn's wing mirror fixed, but we've actually been here probably an hour and a half now, haven't we, gassing and drinking more tea. So we're back on the road just to do the last section, back to where we started. So we have 48 miles left. I've used a third of a tank, and to be fair to the electric bike, it's only really needed one charge. It's been a good day though so far, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been an awesome day. Yeah, really good.
I think something we've discovered when riding electric, Martyn, is that if you're not somebody that likes tea or coffee, or if you don't like to keep hydrated, you soon will. When you start riding electric, there's a lot of tea and coffee.
There is. My sort of riding, as you've probably discovered, Bruce, is a little bit slower. I quite like the, there's nationals, as you say.
Now let me hear it, say it properly, let's hear. Nationals! There we go.
Ah, bumps. This is
What
where
bumps?
the GS is 100 times better than getting bumped around the Energica.
Oh, hang on. I just need to stop and bring Bemoto back up. I don't think I seated the phone properly in that little mount. It's obviously pushing buttons. Yeah, it is. It's trying to emergency call now.
Oh, don't do that. Ah, silence.
With this little mount, well, on my phone, I've got the iPhone 11 Pro. Well, that little arm at the bottom here, which is spring loaded, it just pushes the down volume button at times, so you have to sort of push the phone in as far to the left as you possibly can,
so it doesn't shove on it. Yeah,
because if it makes any contact with that little button, obviously it will shut this off, and then it seems to push on the side button there sometimes too, which then activates your emergency dial. So I either start phoning the wife, or as it has done, it's called 112 before.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's just done it again. Take it out and put it back in. Woohoo. So the delays haven't been because of an electric bike. They've been because of practicalities, in the sense of wing mirrors
and nattering,
needing the toilet, nattering. And technology issues with the phone. They've not actually been because of the electric bike.
No.
Let's see if we can just do the last 40 miles
without any more faffing.
Without any further faffage. Can't promise it, but let's see. Nationals!
There we go. Whee! He's off again. Nationals! Oh, that sounded like an old woman.
We're doing a sharp right up here.
This is good. Roads I've not generally driven or ridden on before. Brilliant.
Yeah, you just wouldn't come down these, would you?
No.
unsuitable for HGVs. That's the GS out. There we go.
Here we go.
All I can hear is that bike screaming.
Yeah, as you accelerate, it does whistle, doesn't it?
Right folks, we are nearly back where we started. So, what have you thought? For me, so far, I don't think there's that much of an impact for a normal ride. If you're just going out for a ride, we've covered 140 odd miles today. It's not had that much of an impact, to be honest. Yeah, we've stopped a couple of times, but you know, you stop a few times when you go out with your mates anyway. Range anxiety, range is an issue at times, but I think for your general riding, it doesn't need to be. I think we've proved that. I think the big one is going to be touring. Watch this space. Folks, if you want a full review of the Ribelle, I've already done one. Make sure you check out this vid here. Remember to check out Martyn's channel, Fen Tours. I'll leave links down below and at the end for sure. What's left to say, folks? Keep on doing your thing, look after those that you love, but remember, get on out there and live your life. Woo-ha!